Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Fancy, thank you so much for being here first. And there we go. There's our. Nope, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, take that away. And by the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Welcome back if you were here with us earlier. Um, so I just decided to call it a right royal mess. Truth is, I'm kind of running out of titles. I just make them up as I go along, and I don't use any software. I just kind of cut and paste my own thumbnails. You can tell too because mess is over too far to the right. I may or may not fix that. Was it mess or was it messy? Oh, you know what? I don't remember. I think it was mess. Right royal mess. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay. Puzzle Dot, thank you for being here. Carol Lunn. Yeah, all right. Okay. So, someone created an AI image of King Charles III doing a little necessary housekeeping. Apparently, the special relationship is in the toilet. I repeat that special relationship is in the toilet. Notice how they gave all the. Oh, actually, no, I take that back because George Bush has a blue necktie. I was going to say they gave all the Democrats a blue necktie and gave the Republican a red necktie. But no, I forget that Bush was also a Republican. Um, and he started an unnecessary war, which is something you'll be hearing a lot of these coming days. Um, I tell you, I have been not really glued to the coverage, but I have been following it, and yeah, it's surreal. I know that's like one of those overused catchphrases, but until they invent another word that makes sense, I'm going to have to stick with it's very surreal, quite surreal. Um, hey, Joan Garcia. Um, Mary H., welcome. What did I see today that really caught my interest? You know what? Everything did. Off and on, I watched bits and pieces of it. And it was something that I thought of. Oh, I know what it was. Like the whole thing with Gaza and the way that the Palestinian people have been treated. It's the age old question to me. How did Germany become the Germany of the 1930s and 40s? How did they allow someone to hijack the entire consciousness of the country? And then all you have to do is fast forward to where we are right now, and that same charisma. I mean, do you ever look at the occupant of the White House and you think to yourself, surely he's practicing those spaces? Nobody walks around with a face like that all the time. So I'm going to suppose that is actually something that is practiced to project power and authority. And, and then it makes me think of William. William, who is probably very insecure. I don't think that he practices that scowling look of his. I think that comes natural. I think that that's a product of the rot on the inside oozing to the outside. And so that's why he has that permanent um, thing going on with his face. Well, not so permanent, but when he tries to smile his way out of it, he looks like, you know, someone that he looks like someone the FBI has been looking for because of a string of unfortunate uh, I'm trying not to say serial person, you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he just kind of looks like one of those people, like someone who um, picks up hitchhikers. I'm not saying he is that person. I'm just saying he kind of looks like that person. Um, but either way, he's going to be the next king, which we'll talk about that soon. Hazel Jones is here. Welcome, Hazel Jones. Oh yeah, I got a soundbite for you. I'm going to play this and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Um, that was also in the title, somewhat. Why Harry and Meghan won't speak on that person. I'm kind of tired of it at this point that they even think that that's a remote possibility. But they are so hungry and desperate and anxious to get the Sussexes on the record saying something, anything, anything. Just please say something. And so far, they haven't fallen into that trap. Also, I'm glad that the reporter in Jordan, when Harry spoke to that reporter, I'm glad that reporter asked the right question and Harry dodged it in a proper way. And that was the end of it. That was the end of it. So, on the record, when there was an opportunity for Harry to discuss it, he dodged it. But the question was posed. It's a win win. I think if anyone had to put that question to Harry, it needed to be that guy because it all went very smoothly. And even though I'm biased in favor of the Sussexes, I did not feel a strong taste lingering on my palate, like a, you know, how do they say it? Put a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, it didn't leave me, you know, feeling kind of let down or nervous, like, oh, I hope he didn't say too much. Nope, it was perfect. Every day, Prince Harry gets to be a little more media savvy. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to clean out this phone. It's just too much stuff here.
They do, damned if they don't, because no doubt, let's say they take part in a broadcast interview with American broadcaster or local broadcaster, any journalist worth their salt is going to ask them, how do you feel about the crisis enveloping your family at the moment? Do you have an opinion on it? If they don't say anything, then they've been silent. If they do say anything, then they're involving themselves in a situation which their own family and the palaces are desperately trying to manage. And have no idea of what is going to happen next. So it's a difficult. I do think it's a difficult situation.
Well, there's no love lost between Harry and Andrew. I don't think they've ever been close.
No,
and I think he's mentioned that in Spare. Or he's mentioned that in the past that they're not exactly bosom buddies or close pals or anything like that.
All those claims were out there about Andrew, obviously, after the Newsnight interview, and Harry's book came out a couple of years later, but obviously before this latest, with the Epstein files. But even back then, he did write in his book, as you say, he mentioned the sex crimes and the shameful, he used the word shameful, so it's very clear if he's willing to put that to paper, even back then, that there is no level of closeness between the pair.
I think in many ways they're vindicated in getting out, getting away.
I saw this in a comment piece this week, and it was sort of, Harry has been proved right. This family is absolutely toxic from the inside. I mean, Harry had his own reasons for leaving, didn't he? And I think they were formulated many, many years ago, certainly not necessarily in the whole Meghan era. He's always wanted a different path, and certainly I don't think it's anything to do with Andrew. And he'd probably be wise to keep his counsel in this sense, especially because there's police investigations as well.
Well, I hope you all were able to hear that. That's as loud as I could get it to go. And since I'm not on my regular setup, I'm not sure how loud it was. But as you can see, I think Russell, what is his name? Russell Myers. I think he did a okay job explaining that in a way that was not too judgmental or, put the Sussexes on the spot. As he said, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. And it's easy to understand why they would rather not say anything. This is one of those rare opportunities for them to stay above the fray without their names being injected in there. There have been a few people that have tried, but those mental gymnastics they require too much training. It just doesn't have anything to do with them. And this whole thing about, there's no love lost between Harry and Andrew. They were never that close in the first place. Charles was not interested in his sons being in Andrew's life and vice versa. Andrew was trying to do everything he could to elevate his daughters, and Charles was, of course, holding the spaces for his kids. And aside from official engagements, there was just no closeness there. If there were, the few times that you would see them in the same space, it would be very obvious, right? But you don't have to look that far. All you have to do is remember, it's not just a family, it is the firm. And there's a lot of things that keep them separated. Also, you're more likely to hang out with someone within your own age group. So yeah, Beatrice and Eugenie, of course. But Andrew, creepy Andrew, not so much. And I'll add one more thing. Harry has a strong sense of smell. And when someone is the least bit tainted, he tends to pick up on that right away. And he doesn't make time for someone that is, someone who's, shall we say, their behavior is not consistent with their role. Yeah, I'm being so polite tonight. Shelly, thank you so much, Shelly L, for the super chat. Hello, Baron. Hi, Squaddies. I hope everyone had a good day. Yes, it was a great day. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for being a member and stopping. Oh, and a moderator. You're a moderator? When did that happen? No, you know what? I'm just kind of embarrassed because I don't think I put you on the mod squad list. I got to make sure I take care of that. I am going to Now, okay. I'm not going to trust my memory at this point, but I am going to make that happen. You'll see. I'm going to screenshot this and I'll know exactly what to do. Yes, it's time for the moderators. 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 Okay. All right. Well, thank you again. I'm going to have to try to fix that. Let's see. Harry knows BS when he hears it and sees it. You can always tell by Harry's expression. Absolutely. Let's see. It's funny when interviewers try to trick Harry into saying something and he just won't. They can't make him. And Harry's not a liar, right? He's not a liar. And so it's kind of tough for him, but he's gotten so much more adept at just, cutting it off where it might cause problems. Now, during the Oprah Winfrey interview, I think because of his connection to Oprah, he was a little bit more, I guess, chatty about certain things. And Meghan, it seemed like she was trying to pull him back a bit because it's like, okay, now's not the time. Which, was a very wise thing to do. And I attribute that to the closeness to Oprah. And I would suppose if it was anyone else from the press, then it would not have been so easy to get that close to getting even more of the juicy details and everything. So, yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for your comment. So this happened. Some anonymous person put a memorial for Virginia Giuffre. They referred to this as the Virginia Giuffre Memorial Garden, which I like it. I like it. It just looks very authentic. Yeah, why not? Why not? So, but let me tell you what happened later on. And as you know, something always happens. So let me find it. Let me find it. Okay, there we go. Wait, how come that's not showing up? So, from the sound of it, I do not believe that that is a granite base that the plaque was placed on. It sounds more like a very heavy styrofoam. Well. Or it may be like a plywood or something like that, but they are protecting that person's identity. Um, but yeah, there was one hanging on the wall there, and then there was the one that he just went and plucked out of the garden. How embarrassing. How embarrassing for the royal family. And that's not far from Clarence House. I didn't realize Clarence House was just a stone's throw away. Let's see, Reba Henderson. Hello, Baron. Hello, Mod Squad, Squaddies. Chickens have come home to roost. Quack, quack. Loving it. Yes, the chickens have come home to roost. Yep. The chickens have come home to yeah, so anyway, that happened today. Someone cleared it away, and well, anyway, it was just a matter of time, wasn't it? Now, during those big events at the Buckingham Palace, you do know they do not allow you to stand in that grassy area that is fenced off. Now, this is really ironic because you see where that white truck is? Well, on the other side of that partition there, that is where I stood on the day of Trooping the Colors. One of the police officers told me to gather on, on that side so that I can get a better view, because if you don't, then that Queen Victoria monument or whatever, that Queen Victoria monument, it doesn't give you a straight on view of the balcony, so you got to be off to one side or the others. The only reason why some people get that very nice straight on picture is because during those big events there are only VIPs on the Victoria Memorial base there, or people from the press who have the cameras, and those cameras aim directly at the balcony, and that's how they get that really nice view. So but yeah, that's exactly where I was standing, right there where that white truck is in the background there. And I think this, let me see. So I was right there on the other side of that black iron work there. And oh, isn't that something? Okay. So there you have it. It was cleared away. But that's a very interesting way to protest. Oh, you know what? Did I miss that? 41 months membership. I meant to say something. Thank you so much for the reminder, Joan Garcia. 41 months membership. Thank you so much for that. "41 months membership. That is quite an achievement. Okay. All right, where's my cursor hiding here? I'm going to have to slow down my cursor because it's moving so fast I can barely catch it. There we go. Oh, okay. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. My cursor is giving me the fluxes here. Now, I Am Sage had a thing or two to share with us. And anyway, I made I Am Sage their own wallpaper. I think it came out real nice. Of course, it was just a matter of repeating column after column. But yeah, It's kind of jarring to the eyes, but I like it. I Am Sage is asking the question about titles. And if you're wondering what that might be, give me just a second and I will fill you in on what I Am Sage has to say about this. Okay. Okay, computer moving kind of slow. I'm not on the fastest Wi-Fi, but we're getting there. Oh, this is moving at a glacial pace. I feel like Miranda Priestley. Please, by all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me. Please, by all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me. One of my favorite lines from The Devil Wears Prada. Wait a minute. I cannot be the only one that have seen that movie and remember that line. Okay, thank you, Mary H. Oh, and Emily, that's all. Oh, so you're still trying to learn about this stuff. Well, I tell you, when she said this stuff, you knew she was in trouble. Well, this stuff that you're referring to, what if I told you? Okay, I don't know the whole thing. I don't know the whole thing. That's as far as I can go. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I kind of lost track of it. You know why I lost track of it? Because I spent a month of Sundays doing this. And by doing that, that's how I lost track of it. If it wasn't for me creating whatever this is, then I would know exactly where it is. But because I took you know what? Now I see it. Now I see it. I did not lose it after all. Okay, I'm going to remove this because it's probably hurting your eyes. And we'll go back here. All right, so I Am Sage says there is something quite sick and twisted about how the British media frames using titles that, in my view, damage the idea of royalty. Beatrice used her HRH and royal title to advertise an expensive fancy tea party where she was hosting God knows who somewhere in the Middle East, that is, just last year. This was clearly for her commercial benefit. I repeat, Beatrice used her HRH and royal title to advertise an expensive fancy tea party where she was hosting God knows who somewhere in the Middle East just last year. This was clearly for her commercial benefit. Harry and Meghan, who also have titles, used their very public platform to do important charity work, both domestic and international, and bring much needed attention to important and worthy causes. Yet, the briefing that goes out is consistent. Beatrice is allowed to do all manner of shady crap with her royal title, but the line is drawn at Harry and Meghan using their titles for charity work. Please sit with that for a moment. William is rage briefing that Harry and Meghan will have their titles stripped because they continue to do charity work. But Beatrice is fine when she uses her title in sketchy ways in the Middle East. Well, well, well. How do you like that? That was I Am Sage. First of all, let's do this because that was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, well, there you go. Let me see. I knew as soon as Virginia Giuffre's book came out, folks would suffer consequences and repercussions. Let me see. She wasn't even present with the guests that paid a fortune. Look at her on her phone instead of mingling. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize she was on her phone. Hazel Jones, you're a detective. I didn't even notice that. I thought she was, I don't know, doing placement cards or something. I don't know what I thought she was doing, but yeah, you're right. She's on her phone. Probably trying to make sure that Hermes bag is still at the shop. So whenever she gets her bag, she can go and get a bag. But yeah, you're right. And believe me, anybody who is present at this afternoon tea is not there on the weight of her personality. I mean, I hate to say that, but I'm pretty sure they are not attending this on the weight of her personality. Most people alive today don't even know what her voice sounds like. She's one of those people when you hear a voice, it kind of freaks you out because you realize you've never heard it before. So, yeah, it could only be the title. Let me say, I wish they would just take the titles already and stop threatening Harry and Meghan about it. Harry and Meghan don't seem to give a hoot about titles anyway. Yeah, I think it would bother Harry, though, because Harry wants his birthright for his children. So I think it is more of a Harry thing than anything else. But seeing that they did offer to give them back, I also think that they could live with it if and when that thing happens. I think they could live with it and that they will just move on. Plus, now that we realize the insurmountable amount of work that it would take to remove those titles, like, getting a vote from every parliamentary body throughout all of the places where Charles is head of state or William will be head of state. Yeah, it's a lot that goes into that. So it's just not that easy. But I'm with you, Joan Garcia. It's so annoying, the whole conversation about it. The petty, childish threats to strip it. They should be stripped of their titles. I mean, it's just so permanent and so juvenile, the whole push about it. Like, it's so, aha, I got you, I caught you, or whatever. I'm going to take your titles away. Well, then take them. And then do take a look at Meghan. Meghan doing the type of work that she's was hoping to do later in her life, and that is philanthropy and humanitarian work. She was done with acting. And I can't remember which one of her um, co-stars or whatever stated that very clearly, that Meghan was moving more toward doing humanitarian work. And of course, she would have used her um, status as a, I guess, a celebrity. And she could have also used her profile from the TIG to make certain connections. I mean, she had some things going for her that, of course, meant that she'd probably never go hungry, and that she knew exactly how to navigate the social media. So it was like, no way that she was not going to succeed. But I will be one of the first people to admit that having married into that family gives you a platform that is so substantial that you can hardly find words for it. But it's only as good as the person who's actually using it for, or should I say, in the proper way. Because there are other people in that family that have titles and they don't seem to do a whole lot with it. They sign up as a Patreon and then they stand back and leave the charity to their own devices. But that's not how the Sussexes work. They are all about input and making things better. And when the time comes, they even will donate money. They will take the time to make sure that anything with their name on it is very successful. And you just don't get that from most of the royals. You really don't. It's something that's vacant, that's missing. They don't seem to care. But yeah, Meghan was very moved by everything. And I'm going to just go back here for a second. You can see that look she has on her face. It was like that all day. And for both of the Sussexes, it seems like around every corner there was someone who had a story to tell. And most of these pictures, they're not going to make it into the mass media. Um, I saw a Vogue article where they were speaking about her clothes, but the article did not seem to focus on the work. It didn't seem to focus on our Duchess. It was just, you know, more of the same. So, but still, there's a certain light that comes from the Sussexes that cannot be denied. They tend to um, brighten up spaces that they enter, and they leave the situation so much better than when they first arrived. So, um, just amazing work they're doing. I'm very proud of them. Let's see. That trash family needs to be careful what they wish for. It'll be catastrophic for them ever, if they ever take away the Sussexes title. They need to stop underestimating the support for the Sussexes. Yeah. You aren't ever going to take those titles away. You aren't ever going to change them either. You aren't. And when you change that into take three words and make it one, then everybody knows that you mean business, right? So, in the immortal words of Miss Betty Davis, you aren't ever going to take away those titles. You aren't. You aren't. Oh man, I saw that in an article one day where they were saying, no, I think it was a video, and they were saying that Betty Davis created a new word when she thought her sister was going to sell the house from beneath her. She said, "You aren't ever going to sell this house. You aren't ever going to leave it either. You aren't. You aren't." I don't know whether it's so funny to me, but I just love that. You aren't ever going to leave this house. You aren't ever going to sell it either. You aren't. Okay. I got those yarns out of my system. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? They need to leave the Sussexes alone. They went over there with the best of intentions, and that tour that they took went off without a hitch. And there was so many. Okay, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna put together a collage of any of the videos that I can share from that visit, because there was a lot of walking. There was a lot of walking for some reason. Just as you can see here, they're outside. They're walking, I guess, from one building to another. Um, yeah, I'd like to uh, put it together so that you all can see some of the stuff that you missed. That's what I'll do, if I remember. So, oh, that's what I was using for my resource. Which faith for Charles III? Will he do like Charles I and get beheaded? Gosh, I hope not. Or Charles II? Okay, well, according to the Star magazine from some time ago, I believe that was 2024, April of 2024, Charles says you won't ever be king. You aren't ever going to be king. You aren't ever going to go and have a coronation either. You aren't. So, I've probably shared my theory one time too many, but I'm going to share it one more time. As lazy as William is, why is this title, this throne, this sovereignty, why is it so important to him? Because William lacks patience, right? Also, William labors under this assumption that if he just does everything correct, right, that it's going to make him a better person. Right now, he probably was thinking, well, I'm going to party. Well, should I say back then, he probably thought, well, I'm going to party. I'm going to enjoy my youth. And then I'm going to start seriously looking for a wife. Meanwhile, Kate Middleton was there the whole time, and he just couldn't take a hint. They make up, they break up. And then finally, okay, he's getting older. He's got to ask someone. And so, of course, he proposed to Kate Middleton, who was waiting, 10 years to hear that question. And so, through different phases of life, rites of passages that, everyone experienced, I think that he believes he's going to be a better person once he's engaged, once he gets married, once he has children. And now I think his next big self-improvement will be whenever he becomes king. So that way he can prove to the world that he's not lazy, that he does know the geopolitical landscape and all those other things. But has he done the work? No, because Charles made a lot of foreign trips and made a lot of connections and stuff over the years. And you know who else did? Prince Harry. Prince Harry knows some of everybody. He's met so many people when he was out there doing the work that his brother didn't want to do. And in spite of that, William feels entitled that he must be the number one and that no one should block or obscure him from being seen as a very impressive individual. But then that doesn't explain why so many people are about to crap their pants because they don't ever want to see William on the throne. And the reason why is because he has an explosive temper. He's easily persuaded and, talked into doing ridiculous things like targeting his own family members just so that he can seem like a better person, using his family as scapegoats. I don't have to tell you which ones, but that's exactly what he's been doing. So I think that's it, is that every time something big is about to change in his life, he thinks that he's going to be more patient, that he's going to do more work, that he's going to really show up for his titles that he's well paid for. But what is he doing right now? He's whinging, making excuses why he can't do something. Well, until Kate feels better. And then, of course, because people have been whispering about it lately, what happened? Oh, he goes on a podcast and talks about his mental health. He's talking about his mental health because we're supposed to fill in the blanks and say, oh, no wonder he barely shows up. He's mental. That's why he barely shows up. He's mental. Yeah, he's about a brick short of a house. That's why he doesn't show up. He's full of excuses and no substance. And everybody knows it. There's no there. Hollow. Let's see. Sussex Teen Warrior says, Baron Meghan's being her natural educated self simply exposes all the things the royal family lacks, and they resent her for that. Becoming king is an accomplishment Harry will never have. Yeah, and I'm not even sure accomplishment is the right word. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. So becoming king is going to, I don't know, I think that he believes that it's going to change him. It will reveal who he is, but it's not going to be the revelation that he's been plotting and scheming. It's not going to be like that. So, but thank you so much for your comment. They wanted to keep Harry a spare. That's why Crazy William don't like Meghan, because Harry fell in love and married a beautiful Meghan. Yeah, that closeness that they have, the bond, the connection, the way people make a fuss about them, all of that affects William. And that is why there's the big green light for his staff people to go after his brother, to try to muddy up their situation. His own brother with no let up. Oh, well. Simply existing exposes their mediocrity and the lack of accomplishment other than being born or married into royalty. That's literally their biggest accomplishment. Yeah, and I guess you're right. That is an accomplishment for them because, I mean, after all, if they were not being consistent, they wouldn't even have a chance to, to get that close to the throne. They wouldn't even have a chance, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's not likely to happen anytime soon. But if there was some real problem with someone taking the throne, they would they would have to do something. Not like the old days where you just put them away and forget about them, but they'd have to do something if that person is not really fit for, you know, for the throne. But William is like not too insane that they could ever just like say, "Oh no, you won't be king." But dread the day that that happens. It's kind of like with what's happening with Iran. Look at how many people warned and warned and warned that if that person gets in the White House again, that these terrible things are going to happen. And it turns out that Kamala Harris had said in one of the debates, she said that there was a great opportunity for him, meaning, of course, the occupant of the White House, to use the courts against his enemy to go to war, even though, that wasn't supposed to happen. And a list of other things that she said, and all of it has happened. And I'm sure that whatever list of grievances or disappointments that people have with William, it is all going to come out and we'll see it for what it is. We'll see him who he really is. And I think that people who know the royal family, knows the personalities and watched him grow up, if they're afraid of him, what do you think the rest of the world should fear? And I only have a concern for the Sussexes. I just do not want the king meddling in their affairs and trying to make life difficult for them. And I just have a feeling that that's exactly what he's going to do. Titles or not even considering the titles, he is going to feel upstaged if he's not the center of attention. And therein lies the problem. Okay. This guy right here, I've never heard of him, Rob Shooter. King Charles will abdicate on his terms within the next 12 months. They're still trying to push Charles off the throne. They're still trying to push this man off the throne. I said a long time ago that I felt like they were trying to find some way to embarrass Charles to get him to abdicate. Now, what were they going to do? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But it just seems like someone was working really hard to get him to just say, you know what? I am going to pass it on to Willie. And of course, William feels the high moral ground because, after all, his own mother said that Charles will never be king. So, yeah. But how will they do it? I don't know. Let's check it out, though. Let us check it out. So, and of course, I don't believe any of this would ever happen. I would be shocked if it does. No, you know what? I wouldn't be shocked because they have been conspiring and leaking and briefing against Charles. The two houses of Windsor are at war. It has nothing to do with Harry and Meghan, although they would love for it to involve them, but it has nothing to do with them. It says, royal whispers are growing louder that King Charles III will hand the throne to Prince William within the next few years. I'm sorry, within the next year. With health cited as the formal and carefully managed explanation, the formal and carefully managed explanation, meaning that he's probably won't be so ill, they just want him off the throne. One senior courtier tells me the transition will look measured and dignified. Health provides the most unassailable explanation. The King Insider says is determined to control the narrative of his own reign's final chapter. After decades of preparation, he has no intention of appearing pressured or forced. The cautionary shadow remains Andrew and his disastrous association with Giuffre, the pervert, a scandal that dragged the monarchy into sustained damage control. Which, you know what? Saying that reminds me of something. William hired a crisis manager. And why did he do that? Because he felt like he needed it. So whatever dirt they have on Charles, which is more obvious because of Andrew, maybe William played some role in that or something else that he felt as though he needed a crisis manager. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, within royal circles, there is a growing acknowledgement that William is already functioning. Oh my God, I hate this. Already functioning as a monarch in waiting in everything but title. His steady public presence, diplomatic engagement, who the hell, and firm approach of the family dynamic have quietly reinforced that perception. A longtime aide put it bluntly, in many ways, he's already king, unofficially. The institution is preparing emotionally, even if the paperwork hasn't caught up. The strategy, sources suggest, is not dramatic abdication. It is a controlled evolution. And as one former palace advisor concludes, the monarchy survived because it adapts before it has to. Now, that's crap right there. They do not adapt. The monarchy has been moving into modernity, kicking and screaming. If there's a handover, it won't feel like surrender. It will feel inevitable. You guys, they are literally trying to talk. They're trying to talk up King William V before it is time for King William V. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to talk it up. They're trying to beef up his prospects. They're trying to get people talking about it so that it would be more likely to happen. I know, isn't it rich? Isn't it rich? I think it's ridiculous. I really do. I think it is ridiculous. It is a study. It is a study on coercion of the First Order. And that's what I've been feeling for a while, is that they were trying to coerce Charles off the throne using scandals. And you know what? Let's say that it would probably work if it did not involve William. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for William, it would probably work. But nobody wants him on the throne. Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that it was William, I think they would have some good leverage. But it's William. And nobody wants that man anywhere near that throne. It's like one of those things where they just say, don't even say it in jest. Just don't do it. It's the stuff of nightmares. Ooh. Oh, man. You guys, if a scandal of that magnitude were to come out, oh my goodness. First of all, I would have my 100,000 subscribers. Second of all, I'd probably move to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Ooh, the Thomas Kingston affair. The Thomas Kingston affair. That will be the name of the book. The Thomas Kingston affair. Oh, man. I mean, it should not be that much to think about, but there is. I tell you, if there's any reason that should exclude William from the throne, it would have to be the way he conducted himself when Kate was missing for 172 days. Yeah. That should be the one thing that excludes him, because God only knows what happened, what he was up to during that period of time. Okay. Now, Kelly Osbourne, body shaming fury, collides with her past attacks on Prince Harry, and there were numerous. Now, she says that people are ganging up on her. And she speaks about how unfair it is, of course. They always do. But the thing is, she was unfair to Prince Harry, not allowing him to grieve, not allowing him to feel. But in order for her to get the sympathy that she wants, she has to play the mourning card. She's in mourning. Don't you understand? And no, we don't. Well, I mean, gosh, look at her. There is a special kind of cruelty in harming someone who is clearly going through something, kicking me while I'm down, doubting my pain, spreading my struggles as gossip, and turning your back when I need support and love most. None of it proves strength. It only reveals a profound absence of compassion and character. I'm currently going through the hardest time in my life. I should not even have to defend myself, but I won't sit here and allow myself to be dehumanized in such a way. But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair. That was another movie line. The chickens have come home to roost. That's it. The chickens have come home to roost, and she's getting a sample of her own medicine. Now, that being said, I hope this girl isn't painfully sick. I hope she's not abusing something. You know, I don't want anything to happen to her just because she's ignorant and selfish and self-centered and mean and cruel and very surly and as cruel and mean and surly and all of the other adjectives. Just because she's all of those things, I do not want anything bad to happen to her. But I hope that she will do the work and learn why her privilege has shielded her from things that most people in their lifetime would have experienced by now, not just losing a parent, but any parental figure that you're close to can be very painful. And so if it took this long for her to experience that firsthand, well, then she's actually blessed, isn't she? Yeah, she's actually blessed. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time picking that carcass apart. But if you want to know what time it is, I'm pretty sure that that's what her clock radio says. Her clock says is F around and find out. That's what time it is. Don't you love that? The old GE alarm clock. Do you guys know that design is one of the best-selling alarm clocks ever? I mean, just looking at it, I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat has seen this clock before, if you didn't own one yourself. But yeah, it's a very successful design. And everybody and their mama didn't had one. So anyway, just remember some of the stuff she said. I think Harry is a effing, you know what? He is, what is that? Whining, complaining, woe is me. I'm not the only one who's ever had a mental problem. No, I'm sorry. I flubbed that one, didn't I? I'm the only one who's ever had a mental problem. My life was so hard. Everybody's effing life is hard. That's what she said. And, that was when they were trying to get an audience for a podcast they were working on as a family. Oh, and then the body shaming of Christina Aguilera. Oh, she called her fat and called her a fat bee and mocked Prince Harry and Meghan's mental health unprovoked. Sharon had a racism row. Yeah, she did on the talk. Yeah, she did. So that's that family, though. That's that family. All right. So I think I just have a couple of fun things for you before we go. Does anybody recognize this 1950s TV show? Anybody? Do you recognize that place from the 1950s? Oh, Chef Sandy Love is here. I did not realize. I don't see where you are there, but hey. Anybody recognize it? Yes, I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy. Can you believe that that is the set? You got the Club Babalu. You got Lucy's kitchen. You got the living room. And of course, the bedroom. Yes, right there on the sound stage. That is I Love Lucy. How cool is that? And I want you guys to take a look at the cameras. You see the 3 cameras? That setup was credited to Desi Arnaz, her husband. Apparently, that same 3 camera setup, which started back in the 1950s, has been used by everybody, everyone in the business. Okay. Yep, that is Lucy's home. Lucy, you got some splaining to do, Lucy. Lucy. Hey, T-Mac, thank you for joining us. Okay, I got one more for you. Does anybody recognize this artwork? Aren't those beautiful? Does anybody recognize that artwork? How did they do it? Well, yes and no. I mean, not just chips, but yes, that's what we're looking for. Pringles. Yes, Pringles. But you know what? You're both right because they're not really potato chips. They are considered crisp. Even though here in the States, we call them potato chips, they're not actually made from only potatoes. They take the potatoes and they turn them into essentially a paste, which can be shaped and molded. And then, of course, they cook them and they come out the same size every time. So, yeah, but I think that's fun. I'd like to know who took the time to do this. Now, if that was me, it wouldn't be much art to look at. It really wouldn't. I don't know if I could have ever got that far. I just polished off a can of Pringles yesterday. I couldn't stop touching them. They're so, so good. I love Pringles. You know, in Europe, they don't have the barbecue flavor. They only got paprika, which tastes just like the barbecue. So, anyway, you guys, there you have it. I do believe we are done. Oh, I thought we were done. Ma Middleton is still nursing that glass, isn't she? You know, admitting there's a problem is the first big step. Okay. All right. Well, love you guys. I will see you all next time. Khadija, it's been a while. It has been a while. Let me see. When you have dentures, food tastes different for me. Oh, yeah. Listen, just do like I do. Put them in your pocket. Put them in your pocket until it's time to take a picture. Yeah, just put them in your pocket until it's picture time. Okay. Hey. All right, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight. I tasted the truffles. They were so good. It was kind of unusual, but just delicious. I couldn't stop eating them. Yes, the truffle. Yeah, the truffle flavor. The Pringles with the truffle flavor. Oh, they're so good. So good. Okay, cheers, everyone.